Good morning, John. Good morning, Lena. We're here to talk about another great twin flame film, essentially. First of all, I can't say enough about the Magnolia channel. It's very inexpensive. It's $5 a month on Amazon streaming, and they have an incredible selection of some very deep and worthwhile films, as well as very funny indies. And Magnolia, if you're gonna pay for a channel, I highly recommend Magnolia, but this is the movie I Am Love with featuring Tilda Swinton, and to me, essentially the cast a cast of unknowns. Yeah. Now, this film is about a woman who has this family, and the family is very uh, established in the community, and they're wealthy. We kind of talked about this yesterday. There's the servants. Everything is just so. They're going nuts. They are very high prestige. There's her husband, Tilda's husband. They're always throwing these very extravagant. There's one of her sons. She has two sons. There's the other son. There's Tilda at the head of the table. That son, I'm just going to encapsulate here. The son, the eldest son, he wants to go into business, and he has a business partner who is an extremely talented chef. And he asks his father, since they are so wealthy, he's going to take part of his trust fund money, and he wants to invest it in his friend. Here is his friend, the chef. He wants to invest it in his friend's restaurant endeavor. And well, where is this chef? There he is. There's the chef, his friend. I forget the names. They're Italian names. This is Tilda Swinton's adorable son. There's the equally adorable Italian chef. When they meet, Tilda is leading what she thinks is a very, contented, happy lifestyle until she meets the chef. And when she first meets him, when the son introduces her, she is completely and absolutely obliterated with this feeling of unbridled desire. And there is really almost nothing sexual about it. It is almost like this is not when they first met, this is later on. But with each meeting, there's this undeniable chemistry just when they talk to each other. Until finally, it explodes. That's Tilda Swinton's mother-in-law there waiting for her daughter-in-law to stop talking to this very talented chef. They just ate in his restaurant for the first time, and the food is beyond anything that she has ever experienced. She's like having an orgasm at the table just from the food. Forget about when the guy comes near her. She doesn't know what to do because it's getting worse and worse. And the bottom line is, they get together. Yeah, they get together. And boy, do they get together. And there doesn't really seem to be anything that either of them can do about it. They run into each other in a village one day, and he invites her up to look at the new land where he is going to be building the restaurant that her son is financing. And they practically, explode up there in the country and on the land. It's insane. It's beyond it. Needless to say, this ends in kind of a tragedy. Yeah. They meet clandestinely a few times. It's getting worse and worse. She knows she has to do something about it. She doesn't know what. Her husband is completely in the dark. Her son, who was in business with that guy, is completely in the dark. Until the son one day... How the hell did he catch them again? I don't even remember how he caught them. Yeah. How the hell did the son stumble upon... He found his mother's hair and her bracelet or something in the guy's house. Right. Right. He was waiting for his friend to come back from the village, and he was like waiting for him at his apartment, and he started seeing his mother's stuff. And then again, here they are in their scene. And he's, it gets hot. It gets hot. But nothing is really shown. Yeah. Nothing is really shown in this movie. It's the most tasteful movie as far as that stuff goes, but the heat between them is just like there's nothing they can do about it. This is a twin flame movie. She does not want her life to be completely upended. She does not want to hurt her family. She is crazy about her family. She loves her husband, but things were never that passionate between them. Not really, but they were, they were suited for each other. They were very good chemistry as a couple, especially a society couple. Her taste in art, her taste in designing, her taste in entertaining, her, and she liked her life with him. It was very exciting. They met a lot of exciting people, but nothing like this, what she has with this guy. And the horrible tragic ending. But is it tragic? I don't know. It is, if you look at death as tragedy. But the one who gets killed is neither him nor her, but her son. He confronts her out by the swimming pool. How can you do this with my business partner? How can you do this to Dad? Oh my God, this is a nightmare. Oh, right, he figures out that she gave him, the chef, her special recipe for a fish soup that she only made especially for her son. And when he serves it in his restaurant, that's when the son figures it out. Oh my God, she gave him that recipe. She would not give him that recipe unless something really heavy was going on. Here she is chasing her son chasing after him after he just saw the soup being served. Yeah. He's beside himself. The point of this movie is, and the point of this review for the Twin Flame Quora site is that there's no way around it. There was nothing that was going to stop her or the other guy from their affair. This was no ordinary affair. A twin flame relationship is no ordinary affair. There he is. He bangs his head. He falls into the swimming pool. He actually doesn't drown. He dies of brain damage. At the funeral, she tells her husband that she is with another man. The husband is completely engulfed in grief. Everybody is engulfed in grief because the son is dead. But there's nothing she can do, and she cannot lie to her husband. She's like, And the thing that's remarkable about Tilda Swinton is she never says a word. Even though there are subtitles, she never says a word during the last 15 minutes of this film. Her face is so tortured about what she has to do and what the right thing to do is going to be. There's the husband. He's like, where is she? This is the funeral for our son. Why is she walking around? She's acting very fucking weird. You could see this woman's, turmoil. Like, I can't lie to this husband of mine. And that other relationship is not going to go away. Here she tells him. We're giving the whole movie away. Well, it was just very well done. He's comforting her. He's telling her, we'll get through this. It's going to be all right. And she ends up just spilling the beans. He's helping her. She's standing there dripping wet. She's out of her shoes. She's out of her mind. And she tells him that she's in love with another man. And not only any man. She tells him, you no longer know who I am. I am in love with, I think the guy's name was, and he's pleased, he doesn't know yet there. We must not go out of our minds. And you see her thinking, I cannot This is a good man. I cannot lie to him. We're going to be together, he's saying. She can't even look at him. At that moment, a big bird flies into the cathedral, and she sees that as her son, telling her, "Tell Dad the truth." She not only sees it as her son, and this is all being perceived through her silent acting. She looks at the bird, she looks at him, she's thinking, this is a sign. I cannot be dishonest with this man. Look at her. This is what acting, this is when it's an art form, what she does. Look at that face, the face of misery. She has aged 30 years. There's not any makeup on her face, but she has gone from being a very vibrant and beautiful woman without makeup in this whole film practically to looking like that, completely shattered by what she has to do. He doesn't understand what's wrong. Why can't we be together in this grief? He was both of our sons, and she blurts, "I love Antonio," her son's business partner. Look at her face. He's amazing too. He had given her his coat. He just pulls it off of her shoulders, walks away, turns back once to tell her, "You don't exist." And that is the end of their marriage. And the face of, there's a face of shock that she has, but there is also a face of profound relief as she walks out of the cathedral and into the unknown. She goes back to their home together, where everyone is at this huge estate, mourning the death of their son. There's all her other children. The housekeeper, who is her best friend, essentially her best friend. Although it has always remained an employer-employee relationship, mostly because of the housekeeper. She does not want to overstep her bounds. Tilda invites her to eat with her. She invites her to sit with her. She won't do it. She's pleasant. She's loving with her, but she's like, "No, I don't want to overstep. This is my job." Tilda, at this point, re-enters the home. The housekeeper follows her up to the bedroom, helps her to pack. They never say a word to each other. Helps her pack whatever sparse clothing she can throw together in a bag. And Tilda leaves. And that is the end of the film. And you don't know where she's going to go. It is presumed she will go to Antonio. But who knows where with John, I would say they'll end up together, but they had to suffer horrible loss in doing so. I'm not talking about the money that is no longer his to open the restaurant. Naturally, that's gone. He has not a pot to piss in, Antonio. Right. But she has no family now. She has no money. She will be excommunicated. She will not ask for anything either, knowing her. But you are left to wonder, where will this go? You never see Antonio again in the film. But John is saying and now we're also talking about the loss of, she was crazy about that son. Yeah, that son was so dear to her. She was a great mom to all her children. That son was like her firstborn. Look at the grief on that housekeeper. Her firstborn and her darling golden son. And you could see it. So now he's gone from the equation. And now Antonio, he's also Antonio's best friend. So Antonio's very best friend and business partner is now gone. So what would be your guess on the dynamics? Well, the dynamics have changed, undoubtedly, and now they'll just have to see if they can survive it. But they were twin flames, and there was no way around it. It's very unfortunate what happened. In his anger, he turned away from his mother, tripped, and fucking smashed his head and fell in the pool. I mean, that was a freak thing, really. In a perfect world, and it would have been far from perfect, he would have turned away and walked away and said, "Fuck you, Mom. How could you do this to me?" Stop talking to his mother. Life would go on. She would leave and go with Antonio, and they would struggle to get by, but the son would still be alive. But that's not what happened in this film. So do you think that as a romantic couple they could have survived? That's the unknown now. That is you're left to wonder what happened with them. And that's what I like about films like that. Yeah, me too. There's no neat ending. She left. She's gone. She's out of there. The housekeeper is bereft. She loved her mistress. Now she is... And the housekeeper also really loved that boy too. The eldest son. He was like her own child. She like raised him, and you could see he would always hug her, and this housekeeper was more than a housekeeper. Look at that. Oh my God, what has happened to my family? What has happened to my family? Because they were her family. And she just was watching this whole thing happen. The father, the other son, Tilda running down the stairs in an old jogging suit. The mistress of the house is leaving. There's her daughter, not that one. The blonde is her daughter who just came out to her as a lesbian. And her daughter understands. That's the fiance of the boy that died. Nobody knows what to do, but the daughter understands because she has not come out to anyone else yet at this point. She fears ostracization. Little did she know her mother was going to experience it in a way far more profound. She's pregnant. She hasn't told anyone yet. This is all unsaid, but the acting is showing this, just with these gestures. This is filmmaking at its finest, and Tilda is gone. They turn around and she has left. And that is the end of the movie. Giandrea Mutti, that is who did this film. Keep an eye out for that director, producer, whatever. The movie is I Am Love. It is a twin flame extravaganza. Foreign film, you won't even miss the language because it is hardly necessary. Spoken language is hardly necessary. The acting is so fine. The visuals, the facial expressions, the gesticulations, it is so well done. You are well done. You are well done. Show what we made for lunch. We made shrimp something with egg, broccoli, hot sauce, and this is a piece of gefilte fish that we threw in there. There's a scene in that movie where she's eating shrimp in the restaurant, and I feel like that right now. The faces she was making. Praise be God and Mother. Thank you for this food. See you later. See you later.